Good afternoon to one and all. I am R.V. Kiran, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Chevron Engineering College. Today, in this class, we are going to give a brief explanation on the third unit. It is an overview of the third unit, that is manufacturing methods. So, these manufacturing methods is based on the polymer matrix composites only. So, it is only the purely manufacturing methods of polymer matrix composites. In the earlier classes, we have seen about the first unit and second unit. So that is about the basic classification and different types of composites, its properties and applications. And now we are going to study the manufacturing methods of the polymer matrix composites. So this is my 31st class in the advanced materials subject. So these are the different types of manufacturing methods for the application of polymer matrix composites. So first one is the hand layup, spray layup, filament winding, pultrusion, resin transfer molding, autoclave, and different molding methods. So these are all the different manufacturing methods of the polymer matrix composites. So these are the different types of manufacturing methods which we have to seen in the third unit. So these are all comes under the polymer matrix composites only. So in this first one is the hand layup. So this method is generally laid down by using the manual hand only, by using no external machines. So first of all, the gel coat is applied on the mold, and then the resin is poured into the gel coat, and then the roller is rolled by applying the dry reinforcement here. So the dry reinforcement is applied on the resin, and then it is rolled. So the roller is rolled on the resin by using the resin and dry reinforcement mixture. So then after curing, this desired thickness is lay up from the mold, and it is removed from the mold. So the process is generally it is a open molding process, and this is a manual, slow and labor consuming method. So generally it is a labor consuming method. So the most popular type is the open molding, that is called as hand layup process. So in the hand layup process, it is a manual and slow labor consuming method. So manual labor has been consumed in this process. So generally the mold prime surface layer of the part is applied by the gel coating. So this gel coating is act as a intermediate layer between the mold and the resin part. So a layer of the fiber reinforcement tissue is applied by on it, and the layers of the liquid matrix resin and the reinforced fiber is form of the woven fabric, rovings or chopped strands, that is chopped fiber, which can applied on the resin. So these are the resin mixture made by applied by either brush or roller. So generally roller have been used in these type of methods. And when the part is cured at the room temperature, the part is removed from the mold surface. So that is why we are using the gel coating on it. So this is the basic process of the hand layup method, and in that we have the some of advantages and disadvantages. So first one, in the advantages, it is widely used process. So this process is generally highly used in the mass production systems. And second one, it has very low tooling cost. So the tools used for this method is very limited, so the tooling cost is also very low. And it has custom shape, so the shape has custom shape, and large and complex and items can be produced. So any type of complex items can be produced by using this process. These are the general advantages of this process. And next, coming to the disadvantages, it is labor intensive. So the manual labor used for this process is very high compared to the other process. Next one, low volume process. So the volume equipped for this process is very low. So that is why it is a very low volume process. And styrene emission. So the gases exhibited by in the resin and by using the reinforcements is called styrene emission. Quality control is entirely dependent on the skill of laborers. So by the skill of a laborer, we are going to define the quality of the entire product. So these are the general advantages and disadvantages of the hand layup process. And these are some of the products which we can form by using the hand layup method. So that is the window doors and some automobile molds, and closed open air mold, and other one is the umbrella mold. So these are the different types of purposes. These are used for the different types of purposes. So there is, these are all can be made from the hand layup method only. Next one is the spray up method. So the difference between the hand layup method is this spray layup method is, in the hand layup method we are using only the roller type, but in a spray up method we are using the it by the spraying only. So the molded surface is sprayed by the manual labor. So that is the only difference. So generally the liquid resin matrix and the chopped reinforced fibers are sprayed by two separate sprays onto the mold surface. So these are sprayed by the two separate sprays which are directly impregnated on the mold surface, and the fibers are chopped into the size of up to 1 to 2 inches in length, and we can calculate it in the mm also, that is 25 to 50 in length. So based upon the purpose we can modify this. Next, the spray method permits the rapid information of uniform composite coating. However, the mechanical properties of the material are moderate, and since the method is unable to use the continuous reinforcing fibers, so this is a rapid formation of the uniform composites. So you can see it in the picture also. So resin and catalyst is in the one roller, and next one is the glass fiber rovings, and third one is the resin and accelerator. Next, coming to the process, these chopped fibers and resins are sprayed simultaneously onto the mold. Their general applications are lightly loaded structural panels and caravan bodies and truck fairings, bathtubs, small boats, etc. So these are all the different applications. Next, this spray gun resin is converging into two streams, into which the roving is chopped into the small pieces, that is called a powder fibers, and this can be automated with the robotic results in high rate of production, and labor costs are very low comparing to the other methods. Here in the process you can see the continuous stranded rovings, so these are the reinforcement rovings, and catalyst resin is seen in the one jug. So these are the two resins coming to the mix in the chamber and sprayer gun, that is called chopper or spray gun, and these rovings are chopped into the small fibers, and these are mixed in the fiber and sprayed into the contact mold. So these are called as laminates, and gel coat is applied before you going to spray on the mold. So here in the other picture you can see the 3D mode. So that is the air pressurized resin, which is seen in the green color, and fiber rovings is mixed with the air pressurized resin, and these are chopped and mixed in the resin catalyst pot. The chopper gun is sprayed on the optional gel coat. So that is the process. So in both cases, the deposit layers are densified with the rollers only. So these catalysts and accelerators are used. So first of all, what is a catalyst and what is an accelerator? So, so this catalyst is a substance which is added to the gel coat or resin to initiate the curing process. But an accelerator is a compound which is added to speed up the action of the catalyst in a resin mix. So in a resin mix, they are going to speed up the action of a catalyst. Next, when the catalyst and accelerator are mixed at the spray gun, it is cured at the room temperature at a moderately high temperature in an oven. So that is the basic process of the uh, spray lab method. And coming to the advantages, it has a very low tooling cost, similar to the spray lab hand lab method, and semi-skilled laborers are easily trained. That is, semi-skilled workers can be easily trained in this process, and it has a design flexibility and molded in inserts and structural changes are easily possible. Then sandwich constructions are also possible in this process. Next, large and complex items can be easily produced. So large and complex items can also be produced in this process, and minimum equipment investment is necessary for this process. So these are, and the startup lead time and the cost are minimal. So these are all the different advantages of spray lab method. And coming to the disadvantages, it is a labor intensive method. So the labor intensives are very high, and low volume process, and it has longer curing times. So it has longer curing times than the other process, and production uniformity is very difficult, and waste factor is also high in this process. Next method is the filament winding method. So this filament winding method involves a continuous filament of reinforced metal wound onto a rotating mandrel at different layers. So this continuous filament of reinforced material is wounded onto a rotating mandrel at different layers. So it can be used in different layers. And if a liquid thermosetting resin is applied on the filament prior to the winding, the process is called wet filament winding. So they consist of two types of filament windings. First one is the wet filament winding, and second one is the dry filament winding. So if the resin is sprayed onto the mandrel with wounded filament, the process is called as dry filament winding. And if the liquid thermosetting resin is applied on the filament prior to the winding, the process is called wet filament winding process. So these are the two differences between the filament winding. So first of all, going to the process, these are mainly used for the round or cylindrical parts. Then a tape of resin impregnated fibers is wrapped over a rotating mandrel to form a part. So these windings can be helical or hooped. Helical or hooped parts can be easily winded in this process, and the parts can be varied in the size from 1 inch to 20 inches. So the size can be varied from 1 to 20 inches. And the winding direction is hoop or helical layers or layers of different material. So these are the winding direction. And high strength can be easily possible due to the winding designs in various direction. And The winding speeds are typically from 100 meters per minute. So the speed of the winding is 100 meters per minute. So you can see it in the picture also, the process. So it is clearly explained in the previous classes. So these are the different types of winding patterns. So first one is the hoop winding, second one is the helical hand winding, third one is the polar, and last one is the axial. So these are divided basis on the angle. So when coming to the the hoop winding, it consists of 90 degrees angle with the circumference of the mandrel. So that is, angle is normally just below 90 degrees, and each complete rotation of the mandrel shifts the fiber band to lie alongside the previous, that is in the form of the parallel winding. So you can see it in the circumferential winding here. So this is called as hoop winding or circumferential winding. Next one is the helical winding. So this helical winding is the complete fiber coverage of the band which have a lie adjacent to that previously laid. So you can see it in the picture, the helical winding. And next one is the polar winding, so which is fixed on the ends or helical components. So these fibers constrained by these bosses of each pole to the component. So this is called the bosses. So black color one. So bosses అంటారమ్మా మనకి poles దగ్గర ఉండే fixed ends ని bosses అంటారు. Next last one is the axial. So these are very difficult to maintain. So that is why we are not using these axial windings. So we are using highly these three types of windings only. So these are all the different types of winding patterns. And these are the some of the advantages and disadvantages of the filament winding. So coming to the advantages, it is good for wide variety of part sizes, and parts can be made with the strength in several different directions. It has very low scrap rate. So the scrap rate is very low because of its continuous process. And non-cylindrical parts can be formed after winding. So only cylindrical parts also, but also non-cylindrical parts also can be formed after winding. Then flexible mandrels can be left in as tank liners, and reinforcement panels and fittings can be inserted during winding. And due to the high hoop stress, parts with high pressure ratings can be made. And coming to the disadvantages, viscosity and pot life of the resin must be carefully chosen. So they have to be changed very carefully. So depending upon the lubrication and the resin strength, the viscosity also we have to choose it. And NC program can be very difficult to this method. So numerical control programming can also be very difficult to use, and some shapes can't be made with the filament winding. So by using the filament winding, some complex shapes can also be not made with this filament winding. And factors such as filament tension must also be controlled. So there must be control over the filament tensions also. So these are all the disadvantages regarding to the filament winding process. And let's see about some of the applications we have discussed in the earlier classes. First one is the pressure vessels. That's how they are highly used in the parts of the pressure vessels. Storage tanks and pipes. So they can also be used in the winding of the storage tanks and pipes. And rocket motors, launch tubes. So here they have an example, light armor weapon also, that is called as law in the shorter form. And hunting engineering made a nesting pair in 4 minutes. So this is an example. So they can be made in 4 minutes with a nesting pair with approximately 20 mandrels circulated through the machine, and driven shafts can also be made. The world largest 5-axis filament winding machine is for the wind turbine. blades. So these are all the different types of applications used in the filament winding process. And next one is the pultrusion process. These processes, pultrusion is a process where the composite parts are manufactured by the pulling layers of fibers or fabrics, and then the fibers are impregnated with the resin, which is dipping in the resin through a heated dye, and thus forming the desired cross-sectional shape. So you can see it in the picture also. These fiber krills, so different types of fiber krills have been made one within a guide plate, and these can be sent and dipped in the resin bath, and then it is sent to the preformer and forming and curing dye. So this is sent to the forming and curing dye, so in which curing is done and the shape of the die also can be existed in it, and then it is pulled by the pulling system and cut off by the cut off saw. So this is the general process which is included in the pultrusion process. Next, coming to the process, the reinforcing fibers are pulled from the creels. So we have already discussed that. So all the reinforcing fibers are pulled from the roving creels. So that is called as దారపుండలు అంటారమ్మ తెలుగులో. So roving creels ni దారపుండలు అంటారు. So these fibers have been wounded into the creels and may be followed by the rolled mat or fiber creels. And pulling action is controlled by the pulling system, which is fixed at the both ends of the fibers, and the guided plates which connect the fiber into a bundle, and it is directed to the resin bath. Then the fibers enter the resin bath where they are wetted. So wetted means some liquid resin is impregnated in it, and then it is contains thermosetting polymer, which consists of a pigment, fillers, catalyst, and other additives. Then the wet fibers exit the bath and enter preformer, where the excessive resin is squeezed out from the fibers and the material is then shaped. Then these fibers can be passed through the heated dye, where the final cross-section dimensions are determined and the resin curing also occurs. Then the cured product is cut on the desired length by the cut-off saw. So this is the general process which we had used to define the process. So here are the some of the characteristics for the pultrusion process. So it is a high productive process. First of all, this pultrusion process is a high productive process because it is a continuous section of fibers and it has a high production, and the process parameters are also easily controllable. So the parameters used for this process are also easily controllable, and it contains low manual labor components. So generally pultrusion process does not exist any manual labor in its process. So all the machines are controlled by the continuous process only. So less manual labor component is required. Then precise cross section dimensions of the products. So cross section dimensions of the products is very sharply attained. Good surface quality of the products. So next, it has a good surface quality of the products. Next, homogeneous distribution and high concentration of the reinforcing fibers in the material is achieved. So homogeneous distribution is highly achieved, that is up to 80% of the rowing reinforcement and up to 50% of the mixed mat plus rowing reinforcement. And last one is the pultrusion is used for the fabrication of fiberglass and carbon fiber reinforced polymers composites, and Kevlar fiber reinforced polymers are also be used in this pultrusion process. So these are all the different characteristics. Coming to the manufacturing, these fibers are already brought to the over rollers and filament spool, and then it is dipped into the resin tank, and then it is allowed to pass through the heated die. So you can see it in the picture also. So this is the heated die in which H is the uh, required mold here. So then it is passing through the heated die and the composite section, and then it is cured and pulled by the pulling system. So based upon the desired length and design, the cutoff saw will cut the fibers. So this is the general manufacturing process. So you can see it in the picture also. Next, this is the production system of constant cross-section profiles in which the pulling system is used. So these pulling systems, the pullers are called as reciprocating pullers or caterpillar pullers. So the other name for this pulling system is also called as caterpillar pullers or reciprocating pullers. So you can see it in the picture. The process starts from the left side of the picture where the bulk number of rowings can be existed, and it is driven through the guided plate, and from the guide plate a single fiber can be existed and impregnated through the resin, and then it is sent to the preformer and the forming and curing die, and then it is pulled by the pulling system. So this is the general production process which exists in the pultrusion method. Next, coming to the design. So the general design can be used by using a mandrel. So it exists up to the mandrel and extend out the exit side of the die. Then variable cross section parts are possible using dies with sliding parts. So variable cross section can be easily possible to slide the parts, and two main types of dies are used in this process. First one is the fixed die, second one is the floating die. So coming to the first one, the fixed die can generate large forces to wet fibers, but the floating dies requires an external power. So that is used to create the hydraulic forces in the resin. And these multiple dies are used when curing is to be done by the heated dies. So this is the general process. And we have already discussed about the TI's very low scrap rate method. So up to 95% of the materials have been utilized in this section. That is called 75% per layer. And rollers are used to ensure proper resin impregnation of the fiber only. So these rollers have been very highly used for the impregnation of fiber. And materials forms can also be used at the inlet to the die. So when materials such as rovings or mats or wheels or stitched materials is used, so the inlet to the die when materials are used. And for curing, tunnel ovens can be used. So what is meant by tunnel ovens? Tunnel ovens mean it is opened at the two ends, both sides of the die. That is called as tunnel ovens. And after the part is formed and gelled in the die, it emerges and enters a tunnel oven where curing is completed. So generally the curing is completed in the tunnel oven. And other method is to the process runs intermittently if the sections emerging from the dry and the pull is stopped. Split dies are brought up to the sections to cure it, and then they start the retracting and the pulled continues. So this is up to 6 to 24 inches. So typical length for the cutting section is up to 6 inches to 24 inches. Next one is the materials used for the pultrusion process, and two types of materials used. First one is the resin and second one is the fibers. So the mostly used fibers are carbon, glass and aramids, and second one highly used resins are polyester and epoxy. So these are the mostly used materials. And coming to the processing, the speeds can be limited up to 0.6 to 1 meter per minute, and thickness is 1 to 76 mm. Up to 1 to 76 mm the thickness can be settled, and diameters of 3 mm to 150 mm can be achieved by using this process, and double clamps or belts or chain can be used to pull the parts through. So double clamps are highly used for the pulling the part, and diamond or carbide saws are generally used to cutting the final sections. So these are highly used for the cutting of the final sections, and the saw is designed to track the part as it moves. So as it moves from the diamond or carbide saws, and these parts have a good axial properties also. So in this processing, the pultrusion process also contains good axial properties. So these are the general processing requirements of the pultrusion process. Next, coming to the advantages. So good material usage compared to the layup. So good material usage is very highly used in this process, which is compared to the layups. Layups means hand layup and spray layup. Next, high throughput and high resin contents are possible. So high throughput and high resin contents are easily possible in this process. And coming to the disadvantages, part cross section should be uniform. These parts cross section should be uniform in structure, and fiber and resin might accumulate at the die opening, which leads to the increasing of the friction, which causes the jamming and breakage. So that is also a disadvantage. And when excess resin is used in the parts, part strength will be decreased by the resin. So because of its composition, we have to use the right composition. So that's why when excess resin is used, part strength will be decreased, and void can be results if the die does not conform well to the fibers being pulled. So voids can also be results in the not conforming of the fibers being pulled, and quick curing systems decreases the strength. So when we are taking the quick curing system, it is decreasing the strength of the method. So that is why we are not using the quick curing system. So that is also a disadvantage. Minimal kinking of fibers or fabrics. So the other advantage of the pultrusion method is minimal kinking of fibers or fabrics, and rapid processing is one of the advantage, and low material scrap rate and good quality control. So good quality control of the materials also have been a good advantage. Next, coming to the potential problems of the pultrusion method, and improper fiber wet out and fiber breakage is the first potential problem. So that is, these fibers have been improperly cured, that is known as improper fiber wet out, and fiber breakage is occurred in this pultrusion method, because this is a continuous system, and these fiber breakage are normal when coming to the pulling system. So when the pulling system is raised its pulling load, then the fiber is used to break. Then inadequate cure. So inadequate cure also been a potential problem, and complex die design and die jamming. So these are the different potential problems of the pultrusion method. Next, coming to the applications of the pultrusion process. So these are highly used in the panels, beams, gratings, and ladders. So these are highly used in these sections. So that is in the panel sections, which is used to divide the rooms as well as the divide the sections also. That is called as panels, and gratings also. And ladders have been used to load the lift. And next, tool handings, sky poles, and kites. So these are all the different applications of the pultrusion process. So light poles, handrails, roll-up doors. So these roll-up doors are highly used in the offices, which is used by the fiber material. So you can see it in the picture also. So these are all the different types of materials used in the uh, used by the method of pultrusion. So by this, I am ending this class. So in the next class, we use it to overview next remaining methods. Any doubts? ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి అమ్మా. Okay, thank you.